Caution, it's another BrickTsar video. Hey, it's Jabbo. I was having a pretty good day. Then I had some things come up. Now, one of the things I did notice a leak in the house this morning, and then we found where it is. It's nothing major. It's it's actually something we never use. It's a little spray thing on the sink that you use kind of rinse off dishes and stuff. We don't ever really use it, and it's leaking. So I got to replace that. I was glad it wasn't a pipe, because that's usually a little more painful to replace. So could have been bad because it was dripping on top of my comic book boxes. Yeah, so that's the problem when you store stuff, is that you know, you risk, even when you take precautions. Like I keep stuff elevated that water would hurt, and then the water comes from above and gets it anyway. I mean, that's happened multiple times, too many times. The Amazing Spider-Man saga, lost the Todd McFarlane issues. But anyway, enough of that. They're just things, and even with Lego, it's just things. And I let that kind of take away from what was really a good day. I had a nice day at work, pretty day to be at work. Everybody I went to was nice. It wasn't really that busy, so it was an easy day at work. And the leak's not as bad as I thought. But you know, I do buy a lot of Lego. We're going to do a haul. Oh, let's just go ahead and do the easy part first. So I bought two things at Walmart. I realized, okay, so I've been buying these because they're just a super great deal. You can build a throwback. You know, the classic series. Oh look! Oh no, this is bright. This is like I'm working on a road crew or something. I was going to do a monochromatic week with the t-shirts, but I'm just going with the plain. I'm working in a work zone shirt today, and so no monochromatic week. Sorry, but this has the bat phone. It has a throwback micro build, a yellow castle. Oh look, we got a yellow castle. I got a yellow, actually this is a bright green, yellowish green shirt. And a phonograph. And I'll never build any, but no, I always got ships and frogs and stuff. So these are good sets, and they got a lot of parts. And I wanted to part some of them out, but I wanted to have one that I kept. And it is for ages under 100 and over 3. So that's good. But so I wanted to get one more. These are only $40. So comparison, this is $40, and I did pay full retail for this just as a comparison. This is $30, $40, $30, 258 pieces, 1,500 pieces. Basically 5 minifigures and a micro figure, which there's probably an extra of in there. No minifigures. So they both have their pros and cons. I probably would want this one more than this one, but this one's hurting my arm. It's heavy. This one's not heavy. So which one's a better value? So let me know. You tell me which one's a better value. The classic set that's kind of generic, the Iron Man set that you need to add to complete your armory of Iron Man uniforms. But I wouldn't pay $30 for that. Or I shouldn't pay $30 for that. I already did, so I shouldn't say I wouldn't. Yeah, if you want that set, probably find it cheaper somewhere else. But why is it $30? I mean, that's 40, that's 30. I mean, it's like, it's no comparison when you can consider the price. All right, update on the Smelly Lego. I washed them 2 more times, and they still stink. It stinks. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Any ideas? I even dried them out. You know, I washed them and then dried them out, and they still stink. And I think I got a little soap residue on them now. I don't know what to do. These things, it's like every piece stinks. That's like, does the smoke just settle into the plastic and you can't ever get rid of it? I know I've washed other pieces and I haven't noticed a smoky smell. And I've never washed Lego pieces as many times as I've washed these. Maybe I just need to get one of those mesh bags and put them through the dishwasher. I've never done that either, but I've never had pieces. Well, I do have pieces that were dirtier than this, but I've never had pieces that smelled as bad as these. And I probably, I've even though I've had bad experiences with sellers, I've never like put somebody on blast. Like if I had a bad experience with them, I would, you know, try to work it out with them, or just say I'm just not. Usually, this is my MO. What's that stand for? Most obnoxious. When I have a problem with a seller, if it's something like it's monetarily was bad for me, I work it out. Or they, you know, something was missing or broken or completely inaccurate, I'll contact them. I give them a chance to work it out. Stuff like this, you know, everything was there. There was one piece that was kind of hidden that was broken, but I don't even care. And, you know, it wasn't, the prices weren't bad. He didn't rip me off on the shipping, but they stink. And it'd be like, he you know what? He may have a disclaimer. It's like, I'm a smoker, the stuff's going to stink. And I didn't check that. So I'll probably leave him positive feedback. In fact, I may have already left him positive feedback because it was accurate. And maybe I shouldn't do that. But it's best for me, I don't want to get into it. So I'm not going to mention the store that I bought it from. And yes, anyway. But this store I will mention. So you remember previous video, we got the wrong plates, but they're in excellent condition. The seller, which is, I think I said the name wrong the last video, is TheyMightBeBricks with an X. TheyMightBeBricks. And X at the end there from AZ. You know what that stands for? But you can't guess what it stands for. So he promptly responded, and he said he made a mistake. He said keep he sent the wrong ones, and he's going to send the right ones. And sure enough, it's the right ones. Look at this. Voila. And they are very good condition. So you can see how the mistake can be made. Similar parts. This is a plate. This is a base plate. But they're the same dimensions. They're both green. So if you're looking at a small image on a tablet or a printout or whatever you use to pick your orders, the parts would look the same in the image. In fact, it's funny how sometimes a big part, they kind of shrink it down so it fits in the little square, and it looks like, sometimes I can't tell if something's a 1x16 Technic brick or a bar, a 4, I mean, because they shrink it down. So thank you for sending out the right parts, and this is a lesson to everybody, I think, or for myself, to everybody. People are going to make mistakes. Give them an opportunity to work it out, whether you're the buyer or you're the seller. And I have one of my most prolific buyers. His name is actually ironic because I'm not going to say what his name is. I don't think he watches my channel, but every time I'm like, oh, he didn't do instant checkout. Why didn't he do instant checkout? But I'm always patient. I'll usually wait the 3 days, and then I'll send him a reminder. Then I'll wait a couple more days, and then I'll send him again. Because how he gets past the instant checkout, I don't know. And then it takes 5 or 6 days sometimes to pay. But he's bought so many times, so it's okay. And I'm not, am I in some kind of hurry? I just don't want to get where I forget to send the order out or anything when he actually does pay, or mix it up with another one. So be patient. I think being patient with each other helps out. And if people make a mistake, instead of leaving them negative feedback, first contact them. If they're unwilling to resolve it and it's clearly a mistake and you can prove it and they won't work it out, then you can, however you want to handle your feedback. I mean, I'm not here to tell you how to handle your feedback, but I just feel like you should never leave negative feedback until you've tried to resolve the issue. I know how I feel when somebody just like I had somebody that left. I only got one neutral. All right, that's all I got. I have no negatives. I did have a negative, but it was from somebody that I've had negatives, but it was from people that were just buying so they could leave a negative, they would never even pay. I said placing orders, so it's like place an order, boom, go leave negative feedback. I was like, dude, I hadn't even had time to pick the order. Why you? So they just, yeah, that has happened a couple of times where people they placed orders just so they could leave negative feedback. And of course, they got expunged and they got kicked off of Bricklink. But anyway, the neutral I got, somebody had a problem with an order, something I could have resolved, but instead of contacting me, they just left me neutral feedback. And I'm like, I made a mistake. You're right. You're correct. And I would have had less problem, though, if they had left the neutral after they contacted me. And then maybe clarified, I had to wait longer to get the items because he sent the wrong one, but he did work it out. Put that and put a neutral. But don't just leave the neutral and not contact the seller. But thank you, AZ Clicky Bricks, for these. These are going to the 3739 Cassville. So the last thing I want to talk about is a comment I got. And this is the thing that... and nothing against the person that left the comment, because it's not what is intended by the comment, but I'm going to share it. It's from TryUp, who's a regular viewer. And it's one of those that hurt me, not because it was a mean comment, because it was reality for me. And it's like he understands the tipper trick thing, the fun thing of doing something ridiculous and fun just for the... I probably wouldn't be doing Tipper Truck Army if it wasn't for YouTube. It's just something fun to do for me, for YouTube, see what I can do, how many I can get. It's like a challenge for myself, and hopefully it makes for odd videos for you to watch. So he understands that, but for instance, it's in this stinky lot here. There's the part for the Fabuland set, I think. Actually, there was no boat in this one. What was the Fabuland boat? Because he said something about, why would you get the Fabuland boat just to put it away in a box and never open it? Well, that's not the intention, but it's a valid question. It's a good question. It's not a mean-spirited question, but it got me down. I'll be honest, TryUp. I was feeling down thinking about it because it's been kind of the story of my life. Now, they're clearly we've built stuff. And not all of these things TheyMightBeBricks built. And there are other things that I've built or friends have built. Regular Bricks has come over here and he's built stuff. Jonathan, my son-in-law, has built a ton of Star Wars stuff. He loves building the Star Wars stuff. And now that Sarah, my daughter, his wife, now that she's doing more regularly with YouTube, I was like, when they come over, because he works fire station, it's not in our county, but adjacent counties, so sometimes they'll come when he's going to work, but I'll give them sets they can take back to build and do a video and then bring it back or something like that. But yeah, I got tons of stuff that we built. So not everything you see on YouTube necessarily is what I do with Lego, but it has been a little more busy here lately in my life. I'm trying to do this challenge of the tipper trucks and do a video every day at 1 o'clock. That's my challenge, and I want to do that. And I want to be consistent with it. And it's not to make money. It's not to get views. But it was kind of also helped me to get organized. Because I wanted that to be the focus. And I have got a little bit more disorganized here lately. But the spring has been kind of odd. But the days are going to be getting longer as far as like daylight. We'll have yard work to do. In fact, I cut the grass half of the yard today. I'll finish the rest of it later. Not today, but another day. I'm using a push mower because I can get my steps. I do have a streak of like 204 consecutive days getting 10,000 steps, so I get that. So not everything in my life is Lego, and so I have been trying to keep the channel going with the videos. So TrainsR, I look over here because this is where TrainsR's layout is. I do about 1 video a week there for that channel, and I don't, like I said I was going to build the flower set. It's still sitting on the table. But you know what? I'm going to take this upstairs. I might watch TV tonight and build that, or I might be trying to figure out how to make these pieces not stink. But I have been I'm trying to think when this all started. I had dreams when I was a kid of having Lego City. I don't think I called it city because there was no such thing as Lego City then. There wasn't even such a thing as Lego Town. It may be hard for some of you to believe, but I had, and there used to be a set that set up here years ago on one of the shelves when we were in a different place, but it was the Brickyard. It's a set I always wanted, never got until I became an adult and eBay came around. But I had a windmill and I had a hospital. And I had some, a fire truck. I had some police vehicles and forklifts and tipper trucks. And I would look at the catalog that came in the set or the idea book, and I would imagine, like, this is all on the floor, and I just imagine a bigger, having, a little bit, and it wasn't anything like what you see on YouTube with a lot of our fellow creators that have their Lego rooms, or even as like the city was before when we had it. But I did visualize that, and that was like a dream of having a city. And so those early sets, they got used and vacuumed up, and it just kind of dwindled to there wasn't that much because we couldn't afford that many Lego sets. But then when I started getting into castle, and then I had the vision of a big castle, because those castle sets, the gray castle sets, they connected together, and I was like, okay, I can make a big castle setup. And I did have those on display. I don't have the picture to share with you. I've shared it before on the channel, but of my soon-to-be wife and myself standing in front of the glass shelves, and you had Lego sets. You had the yellow and black train, the 4559 train, and then there was some castle. I think there were some pirate sets on there. I had them on display. Of course, when I got married, we took those out. but I was glad though, because they got a lot of sunlight then, and all those castle sets had yellowed on the front side. The back side wasn't as bad, but on the front side, all those pieces were turning yellow. So I was like, okay, I'm glad we took those out of the foyer area, the living room. Actually, it's between the living room and the kitchen, but you can see it from the foyer. So I would dream of that, and so I was accumulating castle sets, and then the Pirates theme was awesome. I love the Pirates theme. And I had built like some of the early pirate sets, but there were so many things coming out, I didn't have time to build all of them because I was working 2 jobs. So I was like, I didn't want to mess them. And so as a kid, the thing that I learned is, like, once the set's gone, you never could get it again. There was no eBay to get these things. So when I was an adult, and this is still before eBay, I was like, okay, I can afford the stuff now. I'm busy. I don't have time to build everything, but I don't want to miss it, so I'm going to go ahead and buy it. So I actually, by the year 2000, I had accumulated a ton of sealed sets, and this wasn't with any intention of reselling. I had no intention of reselling. This was like to build at some point. And so that's why, I mean, I got a few of those sets still that I haven't built, and I have on the channel, I have opened some of those sets. Like, for instance, in 2000, I think it was 2000, that the Tour de France sets came out. I didn't open those until, like, whenever it was, 2013 or 14 on this channel is when I opened those. So I have opened some sealed sets, and I will say that despite not uploading Lego reviews, I still have second place on BrickTsar for Lego videos, videos about Lego sets or media or whatever. So that's pretty, to me that's still impressive. Of course, that doesn't mean that there aren't more videos on YouTube. I mean, I've taken the time to go and add those videos to BrickTsar. You know, Jane Bricks has done his. I'm sure he doesn't have all of his on there, but 1,700 plus videos about Lego sets. I think I have put the Lego to use. Now, yes, I do have a ton of sets and boxes, but I think if you consider that I probably have more built than the average person as well. So yes, I have thousands of sets put away in a box, but they're not, the goal isn't for them to stay in those boxes. I do want to build things. That's why we started the city, and having these leaks has kind of realized, okay, I'm not going to do the ceiling, because if I had the ceiling, that leak would have ruined that ceiling tile, which wouldn't have been that big a deal, I guess, to replace. But I'm just gonna, you know, They Might Be Bricks. He was like, we need to go ahead and build it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the city. So I got to clean all the mess up again that I caused. But I feel like I'm trying to justify just putting stuff away in boxes, but I just the FOMO, you know, I don't want to mess those sets, but I still think I've built a lot. I haven't just bought stuff and put it away. I've put some of the stuff I've bought, or a lot of the stuff I've bought away, but I've also built stuff or let other people enjoy it that are close to us. Does that make sense? And I hope that answers your question, Tri-Up. And I really appreciate you calling me out on that. I mean, I don't think you're calling me out, but it is a reality check sometimes, because you can do things that are not healthy for your well-being. But that's why I kind of changed how I do things. I don't worry about making videos. I did have the epiphany a year or two ago that I have a really good regular job. It's actually, I can't imagine. I mean, I would rather do my Six Flags job, but this job pays better. It's not hard. Well, it can be hard, but it's a good job. I have a really good job, and I just, working full time, I don't have the free time to do a lot of things, and I spend 20 minutes a day making these videos instead of actually doing something. But I'm happy to do that, and I hope you've enjoyed hearing me ramble, because I'm not dying. I just got a cough. Some of you may struggle with some of these things as well. You may struggle with having the time to do things, or having the money to do things, or being afraid of missing something. But try to have balance. And if somebody says something to you, instead of reacting and lashing out at them, consider that it came from a place of concern, maybe even love. I mean, I'm not saying Tri-Up loves me, but it's good to have that balance. And I love these bricks. Oh no, I don't. I don't love these bricks. I love this bouquet. I should go build it. So anyway, thank you for watching this video that ended up being a lot longer than I expected, but that's okay, because I enjoyed talking to you, and I hope it's very cathartic. It's like I'm looking at a lens on an iPhone 10X or whatever this thing is. That's not a 10X. It's like an X. I'm confused, but I'm looking, and it's weird. It's like, but I know that I'm going to be getting comments in a few days when people actually watch this video, and that'll make me feel good. Even if it's something that maybe hurts my feelings but needs to be said. So thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll be in a different t-shirt. You probably didn't hear that last part because I was dropping the mic.